Hello everyone, hello everyone. It is me, Just Be Audrey Lane. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you can be notified of when a video journal is up. So I am going to say the date and the time, and it is actually 7:09, August 13th, 2021, which is a Friday. And my topic for tonight is going to be underdog. Underdog, man. And it came to me because everything that we are going through, everything that is going on with us in our life, where we're trying and doing what we're supposed to be doing for God, and we're changing in ways that we don't even recognize, and we're pushing through, and we're doing that workout that requires when it's an athlete, just like if we were picking up weights and running and doing all that stuff. That's what picking up and reading our word, making sure we live in that life. That, man, if you ask me this, they kind of go hand in hand, the workout for the physical gym and then a workout in the Bible. Man, they both heavy. They both heavy. And trust me, because I've been doing them both. They both kind of heavy. But I will honestly say, for me, my spiritual workout, for me to make sure I am actually getting all of God in me, this is some weight. This is some weight. And it got me to where, God, I'm feeling weak. I'm feeling weak. And my coworker and I were laughing and joking, because it came up where she was like, yeah, look at my nails. They're going through something right now. I don't know what's going on with them. And I just said, don't worry. They're going to get weak before they get strong. And bing, light bulb, just clicked. Where it's like, that's what you're going through. Where you really thinking you are weak. Like, God, I can't no more. I don't know what's going on. And we're crying out and we're crying out like, God, what is this? This is because we're not used to this. We're not used to that uncomfortable change. We're used to changing just the minimum for what we want to do. But when we give ourselves over to Him, that changes drastically. And it's a workout. We have to put the work into it. We really do. And we're not used to that. Things would probably have came easy to us before. Or it would come and then we would kind of short sell ourselves and not want to do more work. But we got to do work in this. We are actually building a muscle that we've never used before. That insight that we've never actually seen before. When God gives us these things that we're not used to, we got to then work them out. Man, that got me going into, God, I need to research more of you. So who were underdogs in the Bible? Who were underdogs? One, I knew David. It got to me. And then Gideon, and then Moses. Moses really definitely got to me because of, like, God, how are you using me? Me, I'm referencing me, because you have to read it. You definitely have to read it. So I wrote some things down. Gideon is the book of Judges 6, chapter 6, and read it. Definitely read it. It will give you a whole lot of insight. And that's for Gideon. Moses is Exodus, the book of Exodus. Read chapter 3. Start there. And then David is 1 Samuel 16, and get the reading. All underdogs, but God saw fit in their weakness to strengthen them. And it got me to be like, if you don't know, we serve a God that do all things. And I was just blown back. So just when I'm like, okay, I'm in a lot of, reading your word, and taking it in, I came past this note that I had written myself, and it said, read this tonight. And it was the book of Psalms 31. Read all of that. I promise you, everything that we are going through, where we are feeling weak, where we are feeling like, God, what is going on with me? God, I am trusting you. You are my God. Like, read it. I'm telling you, mind blowing. Because this is like, for me, the setup of everything of tonight's journal for that underdog. Read Psalms 31. And I don't even know, you can read all of them. I don't know what way to kind of tell you to read it, but definitely, if you got to, read Psalms 31 twice. So read it before you read the others, and then go back and read it. I'm going to pull just a few. I don't like to really pull just what I want out of it, because His word is His word. But I'm going to pull these ones for you, because man, you talking about that underdog, that when God sees fit, when you are doing the work. So let me read it to, yeah, oh Jesus. So this is Psalms 31, and I'm going to read it from 18 down to 24. But all of it is good. Trust me, all of it is good. So it's actually going to be 18. So it's going to be silence their lips, silence their lying lips, those proud and arrogant lips that accuse the godly. How great is your goodness! You have stored up for those who fear you. You lavish it on them who come to you for protection, blessing them before the watching world. You hide them in the shelter of your presence, safe from those who conspire against them. You shelter them in your presence, far from accusing tongues. When I tell you, that right there for me was something, because it's like, okay, so when I wrote this read tonight, I'm not even on this color dark orange anymore. I didn't move on to a lighter orange and white and green in my post-it book, because it's like layered colors. So I must have missed this. I can't tell you, other than this morning I was reading Psalms 30. And I thought I wrote this again. I went back to kind of go back and read Psalms 30. But I ended up seeing this, thinking it was for what I needed to read tonight. And thank God that I did, because He sees fit to put things right in place for me to go right off of. Because I'm like, God, I'm feeling like so like beneath, unworthy a little bit. And it got me to be like, man, what is going on? I truly do trust you, but why do I feel like this? So I'm going to finish reading this to you, and then I'm going to get back to it. So I stopped at the end of 20. Now I'm going to pick back up at 21. Praise the Lord, for He has shown me the wonders of His unfailing love. He kept me safe when the city was under attack. In a panic, I cried out, I am cut off from you, Lord. But you heard my cry for mercy and answered my call for help. This is 23. Love the Lord, all you godly ones, for the Lord protects those who are loyal to Him, but He harshly punishes the arrogant. So be strong and courageous, all you who put your hope in the Lord. So we got to keep putting our hope in one. For me, trust. And even though that's not in His word, that made me say I have to put not only my hope but my trust, and keep it right there with Him. Because anything and everything that seems to be going on, It's still working out in my good. It's still working out in my favor. All the lying tongues and lying lips that's coming up and want to say stuff, because I'm hearing some things about me that I literally just go right into prayer. Like, I have to, because they are also distractions. They are also distractions to get you off your game. So you have to make sure that you stay tuned with God's plan for you, the game plan. You have to make sure that, okay, this is not in it. I don't see this at all. So let me put that over where it go, because it's not in this plan for me. And let me go off of this game plan that is set up for me. But be really, really cautious of making sure when things come up into you, one, don't you let them in your spirit. Don't you let it. You can cut people off. I don't want to hear that. It's fine. Be fine. Because you also have to remember that those lying lips that is telling lies on you are going to people who then want to add more into it. So you cannot listen to it. You cannot. And how about this? Don't be a part of it. You don't have to tell your story. You don't have to tell your side of things so people can get, oh, this. No. Don't. Leave it be. You know, like I said, we hold so much in our tongues that we have to be cautious. I myself, Audrey Elaine, have to make sure I'm cautious. Because there is where you want to feel like, I got to protect this. This is my name. This is everything. But keep in mind, like I told you, there's a difference between your reputation, and if I'm pronouncing it right, and your character. Your character value is so much more, because your character is who God built in you and who you are in Him. Your reputation that everybody perceives you as can be a lie. Can be a straight up lie. So don't be so quick to want to defend yourself. You owe that to no one. God sees you and knows who you are. So that's why we cannot take that stuff in. We cannot. We cannot. And don't feed into it. Let me tell you, the reason why I made sure I put this as the topic tonight is because underdogs, we win. We win. Let me go back to read this, and then actually I'm going to read the definitions first for you. I'm going to read them because they got me. So I looked up underdog. A competitor, though, to have little chance of winning a fight or contest. Little chance. Little. But we serve a God that is mighty and powerful. But that little chance isn't how He sees things, how He knows things to be. So it got me to read more. And then I looked up. People do not always expect us as underdogs, to succeed. But it can actually motivate us. So the things they say about us, don't get caught up in it. And one, don't get caught with the fact of, oh, I'm going to show them. Don't have that kind of mentality. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to show them. And trust me, it was hard for me to be like that. It was. I still have to pray about it every day. Because I don't want that to be that underlying sneaky pride that'll come in and it will start deteriorating me. I cannot afford to have that. So I have to make sure that when I ask God that you do for me your will, that you also have it where, God, help me to be mindful. And not only that, God, you know exactly when to bless me and when to transform me into a different area of things so that I do not seek glory for myself. Yeah. And trust me, God, it's so beneficial to have that thinking, because you don't want that undercard of wanting to prove, people, oh, look, see, you didn't did this, now look at me now. No. And I'm going to go back to why we don't need to have that thinking. So I finished looking it up. I'm going to read it all together for you, but I stopped there. So try, okay, let me read it. People do not always expect us to succeed, but we can actually be motivated to try to prove that others wrong, especially those who we find less credible. Why the credible got to me? Why is it always people who want to keep us in a small box? I find out have their self issues themselves. They have a lot of issues themselves, a lot. And I know for me, I had to be cautious because that was me. One, I don't like to sit and talk about others without bringing myself into it because that's self-righteous. That's that crazy underlying pride too. So I have to put myself in it too. I can't just say about others. If I can't say what I or Elaine did, ain't no need of me saying it about others. So I'm gonna speak about myself. You have to be cautious, Audrey Elaine, because you do not want to have that. You don't want to sit there and have that kind of pride. And especially like that credible thing. And I would honestly say, even though I never, like, I don't believe for me to have envy. I don't think you ever should and be jealous. And the reason why I say that, because you don't know what people have to go through for them to be where they are. Like, people are going to be looking at us, and all they're going to see is the outside of things, not knowing what we had to go through for our journey to be where we are. And it's not always what people will think. And don't you get caught up on the financial side of it, because envy and jealousy come when we get our life together and just start smiling and just start walking around happy, and we don't even see it. We know it's a difference in us, but we don't even see how we move and function, and we just walking around so happy. But I had somebody today tell me, you moving different. You move, I'm used to you smiling, but there's something different in you. Man, that's God. I see him. Like, you moving in a way that is so happy. And all I had to do, I didn't even have to say, and I don't want God to think that I took any of his glory, but I didn't even have to say anything other than thank you. And this person knows me. Not deep know. It's funny how our families know one another without us even know. I didn't even know that he knew my family the way he knew my family. He is a customer. It wasn't until I went to a family event that I seen him there. And I'm like, well, what are you doing here? And then we end up finding out that, wow, small world. But I haven't seen him since then. And he was like, you are just moving so different. And all I could do was say, thank you, God. Nobody but God has me move this way. I don't even notice it more than the fact of, like, God, I see a change and I thank him for it. But man, this is what I was saying. There's people watching us, and people will get upset because they will count you out. You ain't nothing. You ain't never gonna have nothing. If I ran down a list of things that people said about me, you ain't never gonna have nothing. You don't never want to do nothing. You don't never want to move. You ain't gonna have nothing because you always want people to do the work for you. You ain't gonna have anything because of your family dynamics, how you was raised. All the women in your family are mean. Y'all don't know how to be wives. Y'all don't, man, if I ran down everything to you of what I was supposed to not be, and all my knots, and all my knots, and all my knots, how about this? I look at it literally like all the knots that got tied up and tied up. How about I didn't use all them knots that you done said about me to climb up higher and higher and higher with God? So all the knots that you counted me out on, I didn't count them, and God sees them, and it's like, man, I count them as a blessing. Because where you see me and where you wanted to place me and where you wanted to put me, I am not. I am not. And I have learned also with that envy and jealousy, it happens. And how about I used to always be mindful of not to be envious and jealous of people, because you do not know what they have to go through. When I tell you it's a war, it's really a war, spiritually and mentally, with us. Because we have to make sure our spirits are right, and it's a mental war, because there's always things that want to pop up in our head, and we got to go into prayer. Let me go back and read why I said I was going to read this first and then go back to it. So I'm read it together so it can be all out. Underdog, a competitor, though thought to have little chance of winning a fight or contest. People do not always expect us to succeed. Can actually motivate people by trying to prove others wrong, especially those they find credible. Then I went and I wrote all of the underdogs: Gideon, Moses, David, and there's more. There's more. And then I went right over to Psalms 31. Now this is where it made me stop. It made me stop after I read that. Jesus Christ. Whew. How great is the goodness, you who stored up those. Okay. How great is the goodness you have stored up for those who fear you. One, we gotta fear him. And I used to think, why I gotta fear a loving God? Why do I have to fear him if he cares so much for me? And then it brought me back to as like how my mother used to always say, there is a difference between fearing somebody with hatred and fearing somebody with respect. And that fear goes that you won't disrespect them as your parent. So if they are telling you, don't take your behind outside because this may happen to you, you better have enough respect in you to not do what I am telling you to do. You better fear me enough because I have your best at interest. And that's God. That's where that fear comes into play. When I am telling you not to do something, that you obey me because I know better than you. Better than you. One of the things I always say to my children, and I'm not going to take that and put it as my mom. My mom will word it different. But that fear is the respect thing. My mom said it totally different. So those are my words. I'm going to take that credit, but give it to God because he literally put it in my head. But I always tell my kids, one main thing for me is I need to know where you are so I know where you're not. So when they leave from up out of me and they're somewhere with friends and everything, I need to know where you are so I know where you're not. So if something happens in this world today with anything going with the police, pulling over, to even have like the curfew law and all of that stuff, I need you to text me nonstop. I need you to pick up your phone when I call you because I need to know where you are so I know where you're not. And it got me into this of how great is the goodness you have stored up for those who fear you. You lavish it on those who come to you for protection, blessing them before the watching world. So us as underdogs, it's so funny how people want to count us out. We're the knots, and like they live and they hold on to your was, the past, the was, the was, and they can't get over it, and that's okay. That's okay. But what you need to do, if you need to leave them with that was right there. If they want to hold on to your past, like it's hurting them, and I mean, like you did so much to them and everything, and I'm finding out that I ain't really do all that. But because they have their own issues that they are not dealing with, my past gives them more comfort in not dealing with their own. And you got to realize that. So that's why people will keep you and hold on to your past, because they're not dealing with their own issues. We got to deal with our issues, guys. I'm telling you, get yourself into therapy. There is nothing wrong with going to therapy. Nothing. Don't let nobody say take it to Jesus, because I can tell you this. If you're really listening to him, he'll tell you to go get a therapist. That's exactly why he has them down here. There wouldn't be a profession for them if they weren't of use. If they weren't of use. I don't care how much. My whole thing is this. Like my pastor just said this. How is it that you sitting up here and you saying I'm filled with the Holy Spirit, I have all of this in me, but yet you don't want to go to counseling? And if you stay, you can hear him talking, but you go into your pastor all the time with an issue of this is going on and this is happening, and I don't know if this person is made right for me, and God is telling me that they're not made right for me. God didn't tell you you need a therapist. God didn't tell you to go sit your behind down on somebody's couch and talk with them, because there is where your pastor do come into play and do a lot of counseling. But my counselor will tell you in a minute, you need to go to therapy. That's above my grade. I can help you spiritually. I can. He'll tell you that. But you need to go to an actual therapist. And we need to be willing to go and do that. So don't let nobody get you, because that's where you be trying to fix things and be trying to get them all mended, and they sitting up there still with the issues that they have with them. And then no matter how you try to fix it for them, I'm telling you the truth because I did it. No matter how you try to fix it and mend it, you will always be living in the was, because that's where they are. So you better go on with the now, and your now is going to always be in progress of changing and evolving and moving forward. Because when you ask God to come into your life, he's a moving forward God. He's a moving forward. He don't need to go back. He don't need to go back. Trust me, when you have your conversation with him at the end, that's when he'll bring things to light. But if you having that conversation with him, you better be sitting there like, God, thank you. Because for me, know that conversation takes place when he's correcting me. Like, look, you done did this. And not even really when he's correcting you, because if you having that conversation with him, man, that's an awesome thing to sit up there and have him where he's like, look, you done got this together. Look. And then also that he takes a lot of credit. Like, look what we did. Look what you obeyed. You obeyed. So don't get caught up with your underdogs trying to keep you below level. Below level. It's so funny. For me, I've noticed that you would like to keep me at a low level, because while you are fighting issues and that there's nothing wrong with you, and that arrogance and pride thing that they have, it's like, I don't want to deal with my issues. So all I can do is magnify yours. Mine's is right here. No, I don't have no issues. I don't have no issues. So they will magnify yours, but they don't want to turn that magnifying glass on themselves. There's nothing wrong with them. That's arrogance. That's arrogance. Stay far from it. Stay far from it. Because Man, all right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to keep my mouth closed on this one because the whole fact of it is you got to be mindful. And you got to ask God to show you and give you discernment. Give you discernment. Is it really worth me losing who I am to want to be right and argue a person down? Don't. Trust me, it feels like you getting punched on, like you in the gym. Remember I told you guys, it's a workout. You getting punched on, stomach, guts, face punches, black eyes, everything. But remember, underdog always wins. And especially when we are doing what God is telling us to do, He already has us covered. He already knows the outcome. He already has it in His plan. It's hard showing up. It's hard showing up and not just being, like I said, the D-stag and just sitting there going and just there. But when you start doing the actual work and want to learn and not just want to be there for the laughs and the kicks and just there so you're like, oh, I'm a Christian. No, I know for myself, I was a Christian and saying that word all the time long, like, oh, I'm a Christian. What faith are you? I'm a Christian. No, I tell everybody now, I got a relationship with God. Oh, yeah. If you ask me, what am I? Okay, I guess you can say a Christian, but I tell everybody, no, I'm a child of God. I got a whole relationship with Him now, a whole relationship, man. And I'm learning more and more how to be in a relationship with Him. I'm doing my part. I'm showing up. I want a full-fledged, like, come on, God, let's do this, because it's not like He is where I'm waiting for Him. He's waiting on me. I got to do my part. I got to do more than just show up for Him. I actually got to do leg work for Him. And it's a workout. It's a workout. So that underdog where you looking and people, trust me, people see it. People see what you're doing. Stop wanting to go for applause and claps. Man, no. Mm-mm. My clap and my applause comes from God when He tells me, well done, Audrey. Well done. That's what you want. You want Him. That's the biggest applause ever. Ever for me. I'm not going to cry. We can be underdogs. Be okay with it. It's so funny, a couple years ago when the Eagles won the Super Bowl and they counted Philadelphia out as like, oh no, you're not going to win. You're not going to win. We had t-shirts and everything made up in the city of underdogs. And all I could think of is, man, when people wanted to say all of this stuff about them, so now I'm off, I'm on us. When people wanted to say all that stuff about us, how about this? Don't listen to it. Let the naysayers say. You keep on doing what you need to be doing. You keep on going and make sure, I know for myself, have a humble heart. Ask God to give you humility. And if you don't know what humility is, look it up. And ask God for Him to show you every day how to handle a situation, for Him to cover you in it. I ask God 3 things that I always ask God for, and I wrote them down. It's health, knowledge, and wisdom. Because I want health. Because if I have a healthy mind, a healthy heart, then He will give me all the knowledge I need. And then that wisdom comes into play. And then you can build from there. That's when all of the financial stuff can come into play. Because if you don't have health and a healthy mind and the knowledge and the wisdom to handle wealth, what the heck would God give it to you for? You have a whole bunch of money and no brain and capability to function. You'll be able to have people around you who are just there to please your ego and stroke your ego. And you'll be thinking that they're there to help you when they're a hindrance. No, no, no. Don't. Don't. And how about this? Not everyone is meant to go on your journey, family or not family. Ask God to have people around you that He knows is there, that He placed there. Because remember now, underdogs. I have a team. I have an actual team here of now, and God is my team. He's the best teammate ever. He able to tell me, I see this play working out just like this before I even know. How about he goes and he gets the play all written up and give it to me, but yet I'm the one. It's like so funny because he's like the coach, the player. Man, he the person when I get tired, go get me that water, that Gatorade, pump right on up in me. He's everything. Underdogs. Be okay with being an underdog. Trust me. You winning. You winning. You know I always say it that the win, and win. Right now we getting the wind knocked up out of us. That WIND. Man, it's something. That wind, it's like I can't even catch a breath. It's like I do this and I can't even see what's going on. Keep on showing up. Keep on going. Keep on moving. Because you're going to get over the WIND. And then God is going to place in the win. WIN. That win. But then He's going to do it when He sees fit. WHEN. I know it's a lot, guys. I know it's a lot, but this is what I go through in my journal. This is how I write things down. I'm just saying it out. But yeah, and sometimes it kind of reverses for me as WHEN. When, man, when God sees fit. But that when stays first, WIND. That always has stayed first for me. Because, man, when I tell you it was blowing through me the other day, oh, Lord Jesus. Man, that went clearing some things out. And how about this? We got to ask God for discernment because a lot goes on. I find out Him blowing through me had me like, okay, God, I'm so used to kind of things coming up. So I had to pray for discernment for Him to give me, is it me thinking this? Like, oh, things always seem to kind of go like this? Or, excuse me, guys, or not for that win, not for it to be like, okay, things are happening. Be okay with it. Some things don't happen every day. Some, like, don't get caught up in your head that, oh, my day is going so good that something might be happening. No. Take it for what it is. Your day is going well. You woke up. God saw fit to literally get you up because He got work for you to do. Don't be over sitting there like, oh, my day is going so well, something's going to happen. No, something is happening. You're doing His will. That's what's happening. Be okay. God, man. I tell you, read Him. Read His word. That stuck through. You get weak before you get strong. You get weak before you get strong. And then I also wrote this. You got to go through the pain. You got to go through the pain. Building that muscle. Building that muscle. So I thank you guys so much for liking, subscribing, and commenting on Just Be Audrey Lane. Man, walk, walk in your victory. Because, man, it's so funny. That victory is so amazing that we got to make sure we staying humble. Humble is amazing. Man. And how about this? When we walking in humility, we ain't got to walk around and tell people about it. That's not humble at all. It shows on us. We just say thank you. And how about this? Humility has us go right into how can we be of service to God and move on to the next thing he needs us to do. That's humility. It ain't about us. It's about him. You notice with Gideon, Moses, and David, it was moving on to what God needed them to do. They ain't sit there and run no daggone victory lap and want all the fame and all of that stuff. No. You at work. Continuous work. Continuous work. And that's hard because I was like, somebody wanted to celebrate me. There's a difference when God sees fit to like, okay, this is a celebration. Because we want people to know. And that's what got me. We want people to know this ain't me. This is all God. So if I make sure I keep him where it's like, okay, God, you get this, like that victory lap. It's more so for, I want you to see that this ain't got nothing to do with me. I am only here now doing this because of God. I can't word it. Man. Man. Don't count yourself out. How can you count yourself out when you already been included? God knows the hair on your head. He formed you in your mother's womb already knowing what you were to him and what you are to him. Not were, what you are to him. Come on, guys. We got it. And I know we got it because he got us. It's all him. Don't worry about the naysayers. It's okay. Pray for them and pray truly for them. Not a dry pray. And if you don't know how to pray for your enemies and people that is against you and any of that stuff, ask God to show you how to do it. And it will happen. You guys walk in your light. You guys stay true. Make sure you love yourself. Make sure you love yourself. More importantly, love God. He's doing wonders in you. Man, he's a miracle working God. He will change things around just like that. Just like that. Just like that. You guys have a great one. I'll be back on with you guys, God willing, tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to Just Be Audrey Lane. I mean, I say get you guys your own YouTube. Don't worry about the followers and the subscribers. You can tell them to subscribe. That's good. But I will tell you this, it's a journal process for you to be like looking back, like, oh wow, I have grown so much in God. Thank you, God, for being so big that there's always room for me. That it will be always room for you. Man, you guys have a good one. I love you. Make sure you loving on someone else. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a blessed evening. And keep in mind, we winning. We winning. All of this struggle and all this hurt and all this pain is building our muscle. It's building our muscle. You guys stay true to yourself and God. Have a great one. Bye now.